So, okay, now we are live again. So far we are just Fausto and me, and we will wait for someone, maybe some minutes.
Can you hear me well, Domenico?
Yeah, a little bit, not so loud actually, Fausto. Try again.
Yeah, it's me here trying
Mm.
to.
Not, no, right now, no, it's very low.
Yeah, I might have to get closer. I'm concerned that this is connected.
Okay, so I can see that there is Andrea just listening, and Anna with some problem to join us. So I try again to invite Anna with us. Anna, if you are listening, you can find, you have more problem to join us, you can find the link through the Slack platform. So I take advantage to say the same for all of you. Maybe you are listening and you find some problem to join. And it would be easier if you open the Slack platform and you get the link to join us there. So yeah, I would like to just to meanwhile we are waiting for Anna and Andrea. Maybe just remember that we hang out through YouTube, so you can find the link.
Hello?
Hello?
Ah, okay.
Hello.
Okay. You get the link through Slack or how you?
No, through my email.
Ah, okay, good, good. That's good to know because it's all the time is a mystery how how we find the link. How are you, Anna?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Pretty busy. Last week I was in Mallorca at the building site. This was I was not able to join you guys, but yeah. It was a pity because I really would like to have told you about the Barcelona meeting.
Yeah, good. Now today.
I don't know. Did you have anyone in the conversation last week of the Barcelona group?
No, no one.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly we were expecting for you, but yeah. Well, we have today you here, so you can tell more about your first meeting.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
in our agenda today, the idea is to start with a new structure. Because with the last meeting, I think was very useful the last meeting because we changed some thing related with our weekly hangout, and we clarified some governance things. So about the weekly hangout, we decided to change the structure. Actually, the changes are related with some other changes we made with the governance. So we let's take some minutes to explain these changes because I think it's useful. Meanwhile, I don't know if also you are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay with the sound.
I don't know. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, not so loud. I don't know if it's me. Anna, you can hear Fausto?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now, Fausto, you neither were there last week, so I take advantage to explain a little bit what kind of decisions we took with last session. So we realized that we need a more let's say effective way to promote the circle works. I mean, we have this governance and this structure based on circles, and the idea is that each circle is autonomous and has to develop its job independently. But the weekly hangouts were very centered on the development of the civic design method and just leave some space for the executive discussion and other little things. So the idea we had is to leave more space for the rest of circles. So instead to center each weekly to the civic design method development, the idea is to have each week a different topic. And Fausto, I'm sorry, there
Tell
there
me.
is there is some noise with your microphone.
Okay. I'm not doing any noise, but I can just.
Yeah, it's just the okay. So yeah, so I don't know if I'm clear. Is this idea that we are a community? We have these different circles, and actually each circle is starting working about a different topic. But it's strange because with our weekly session, we are just talking about civic design method. So the idea now is to improve and promote each circle. We decided to spend each week to work in different circles. So today the idea is, for instance, to work and discuss and debate about principle. At the end of this session, we have to decide which topic we will choose for the next week, and this is the way we will work with our weekly session. I don't know if I am clear enough about that.
Yeah, you are. The thing is that as we have the microphone off, for answering it always take a little bit because we have to turn it on first.
Yeah, I know but I'm patient. And so yeah, today we start with principles, And I think the aim of this session is also to promote the beginning of the the work of each circle. For instance, I am really interested today to start and promote the governance circle because we really need to define some kind of tools and method and yeah, system to improve our governance. So the idea as well, to be more clear, is that each group is working independently. So each group is free to organize different hangouts. So today I want to announce in a way that for the next week I want to start more seriously working on the governance. So I will spread through our newsletter, the blog, and the social media that we will start with this work. And anyone want to join this debate and the discussion is of course invited, more than welcome. And yeah, we need to start with that. So and we will have certainly an hangout to discuss like today. But yeah, the idea is to avoid to charge too much the weekly session. So in each weekly session we have a little hour to work on a specific topic, and the rest of time is just to catch up with the other circles. So we will have all the time this structure. So we will work separately in our different circles, and we use the weekly session just to catch up, so we can know what is happening in the local circles, topic circles, and the project circles, and whatever. But the idea is to live and to have a more light in a way session each weekly, and maybe spend less time because 2 hours is too much. Maybe today, for instance, we will try to reduce. Maybe 1 hour and a half is enough, and maybe in the future we can even reduce a little bit. Maybe 1 hour would be better. So yeah, this is the initial information, and I want to remember that okay, we are paying attention on the chat. For instance, we have here Maria Alejandra Hoyos from Bogota. I take advantage to say hello to Maria. Actually, we just met in Bogota. Last week I was in Bogota, and actually I'm exciting because it's exciting because yeah, in Bogota there is a very interesting energy, and they are starting now a new circle in Bogota. Maria says that there is some problem maybe with she can talk. Okay. So yeah, I remember that we are paying attention to the chat we have in the YouTube streaming page, and if you want to enter in this video conference, you have to follow our Google Plus profile, and you receive in your account the invitation, or you can find the link to enter in this Hangout through the Slack platform. So I don't know if you have any doubt, or maybe we can start with the agenda.
Yeah, I think we can start. It's a pity there is only 3 of us live. I know there is more people listening, but it will be really nice in this for this discussing this topic to have more people.
Yeah. This is also the reason why I think is a good decision to separate the workflow to this weekly session. So this weekly session is, of course, also the opportunity to work a little bit, but it's more an update. It's more the occasion to catch up about what we are doing and maybe meet new people. Then spend time to develop the project, the CivicWise itself, and whatever. So anyway, it's not a problem. See, it's better if we have more people, but okay, we can talk 3 of us, and I know that Andrea is joining very soon, and it's very important that we can have Andrea here, because Andrea is who prepared a very clear, I think, very clear structure to organize the discussion about principles. So I think it would be useful if you can hear from him this method. And I think with him we can have after a first document in terms of principles. And in this about that, actually I would like to talk with Fausto, because some week ago, Fausto, you were also working on that. Maybe I know you are very busy. Maybe you can leave that. I don't know if you can share something you already did, or you just can leave that to maybe to Andrea coming. I don't know what you think about that, because I know you are very busy and you are also working on the engagement method.
No, to be honest, I've not had chance to work on the principles, and especially when I read the discussion in this course, it's still not very well defined on how we going. I think we're still trying to develop how we're gonna, yeah, to be more specific. Because I mean, if you follow this course, Andrea proposed one methodology, and then Cito proposed another one, and then you proposed another one, and then last week I think it was Rita who proposed the last one. So I think that's a bit confusing, because when people is reading this course, they realize that we not make clear how we're going to reach the specific statement of every single principle.
Yeah. Actually, I think the last comments were very clear. I think the last proposal from Andrea is very useful. So I think we will wait for him to explain better about that. But I think we at least achieve this method, and we can use this method because it's very clear. It's an Excel document, and we can introduce our principles proposal just filling this document, which is, I think, very clear, and we can use that. This is one of the last message in this course.
Yeah, I think the Excel document is pretty clear. I have been reading it before, and I think it can be pretty useful.
Yeah. So now it's time to take to use this session to explain better what we want to do with this document, and leave time for the rest of community to fill it, and hopefully we can have Andrea taking care of it. So maybe what we can do, waiting for him, because he said that he will have more opportunity to join us later. So maybe we can change a little bit the agenda. And maybe it would be it would be good if you, Anna, could share with us about the first meeting in Barcelona. What happened?
Okay. It was a pretty nice meeting. We all were there, the Barcelona CivicWisers, except from one person that was not able to make it. So it was a pretty interesting conversation. What we did was basically first explain our different backgrounds, to be aware of the team that we had at that stage. It was a pretty interesting group because we have some architects, we have someone working in design thinking, we have another CivicWiser, Ana Bellan, and she was expert in sustainable projects, mostly regarding drainage and water systems in the cities. It was a pretty interesting group. So basically, after a couple of hours of conversation, what it seems to us, it was that it was good to let's say to understand how the local circles should work at this stage. So everybody agreed that as the theoretical discourse and debate is taking place over the internet, that it will be really interesting that the local circles start real projects at the same time. I mean, almost everybody was quite concerned that the theoretical discussion maybe could take too long if we try to wait for, let's say, a conclusion before starting the real project. So everybody was proposing that the parallel process, the theoretical one through discourse and on the platform, and a praxis method that is that was going to be developed through the projects, like a test, let's say. So mostly people were concerned about timing, and everybody thought that the superposition of these two things happening at the same time can be interesting at some point. So basically, for the next meeting that is going to be next week or the week afterwards, what we decided was to think about the kind of projects that we do consider that we can achieve here in Barcelona, depending on the kind of city, kind of population, types of neighborhoods, needs, etc. Because the second concern that was presented, apart from the one that I have just said, was that the reality of the projects, meaning that at the very beginning, as we don't have yet projects from different entities or citizens proposed, as we don't have yet a platform or whatever method ready, it seems to us really interesting that according to our different backgrounds and resources and our knowledge of the different communities here, what type of projects we will be able to propose to be really developed in a short term. So we agreed in taking a couple of weeks for having a thought about it and propose afterwards every one of us an idea about it. Because we've been speaking about things like as we spoke before in other occasions, that, for example, projects with academia or projects for the citizens, or any project on planning or on consulting the citizens that include academia or students, have a really rigid timeline that normally should occur before the summer. So basically we have decided to use these 2 weeks to have a look around, have a look at our resources, have a look at the kind of projects that we consider that we could develop on a short term, and afterwards have a meeting for discussing all of them.
So I think it's good to know all of you are working on Barcelona. And just a little question about what you just said about academia. You mean that you want to propose something before summer to academia, or?
It was not clear, and it was said that depending on the kind of projects that were going to be proposed in the next meeting, if any of them included any relationship or collaboration with academia students for any reason, it should have a very rigid deadline. And another thing that we established on the very first on this very first meeting, because it was important regarding this idea of developing test projects, was something that it was very practical, that it was how many times per week every person will be able to give to CivicWise from now on. Because what we realized, but it was more useful to really know the availability of everyone than, you know, having everyone saying that they will collaborate, but with a not complete commitment. So it was kind of curious, because most of the team said basically the same amount of hours per week, which we agreed that was going to be around 3 hours per week, until we have a project. And afterwards, when we have a project and we see the kind of project and the kind of roles and the kind of time and implication that it requires, we will have a second thought about the commitment.
Yeah, this is a very good topic. Actually, it remember me something we worked on with another community called Mid Commons. Actually, in Spain, we have this community started in 2011. And we had some meeting, and we started to develop a project called Implicometro, which is something I think very useful, that has this idea that how we can visualize how many hours and what kind of implication any member of a group could offer for the project. So I think right now what you are just saying is very important, and maybe we can start to organize that, because actually we have this document in our Google Drive where we are supposed to write down any hour we spend to develop CivicWise. But it's not working. I mean, we are not filling this document, so we don't know actually The idea was I think, very interesting, but yeah, finally we are not doing that. So maybe would be even, I don't know if more useful, but it's even at least it's interesting to realize how many hours a group has to develop the project. So maybe we can have a document where any member just explicit how many hours each month maybe want to spend for the project.
Yeah, because for example, having this kind of conversation, we realize that something like Twitter or the social networks was taking around, for example, 2 hours per week. So in that case, for example, Anna Bejan said, offered herself and said, okay, so let me use my 2 hours per week to do a planning for the social networks for CivicWise. So she, for example, decided for the moment that she was going to use use her 2 hours in programming the social networks, because she also mentioned that she is an expert on that because she uses to work in his company doing that, exactly that kind of work. So it was pretty useful for realizing that kind of stuff, that for example social media in every account, if you want to do it properly and have a strategy and really think about the kind of tweets that you share, or the kind of projects that you would like other people to know, it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
And what it was happening with the Twitter, for example, in Barcelona, it was that it wasn't working, really.
Yeah, actually, I'm just seeing. I'm just taking a look at what Andrea just shared in the chat. Actually, there is a discussion about that in our discourse platform, and this topic is also related with the task coordination and task administration. So now we have this problem that we don't know how we can propose tasks and how we can get people do these tasks. So the tasks are related with timing. So the discussion is related, I think. And there is this discussion also about what kind of tools we can use for the time accounting, for tasks administration. There is some tool proposed by Andrea actually, but we don't know yet which one we can use, because we have to be very. I think we have to use something very easy to use. Yeah. Fausto, we are talking about timing, more time accounting, and tasks, and maybe you don't heard. And Anna said that would be useful if each group could share, each person in each group could share how much time want to spend per week for CivicWise. And so yeah, maybe this this is also something we have to discuss in governance circle. So again, I take advantage of this discussion to encourage people who want to work on it, to join us in the Slack group about governance, because starting with this week, we will start working on it. Maybe we have to organize an hangout. So I'll contact you. I'll contact all of the people interested on it in order to coordinate an hangout and to work on it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds good.
Okay, waiting for Andrea. I would like to share with you some, I think, good news. As I just said, I was in Colombia, and I was giving a lecture in Bogota, and with the occasion, I introduced CivicWise to the audience there, and CivicWise is is very welcome. I think it's something that people like, and talking also with people there, I received very good feedback, and I think we will have something growing in Colombia. And to be more specific, there is Maria Alejandra, which is now listening, I think, by YouTube, and with John, interested in. I talked with them in Bogota, and they are now starting to develop a local circle in Bogota. And there is also someone from Cartagena interested in start a new circle there, and so this is a very good news. And coming back to London, I stopped in Paris, so I can share also a very good news with you, because I was there a guest in Fausto, the microphone. Sorry. And yeah, I was in Paris, and in Paris I was lecturing, presenting CivicWise at Volume co-working space, and there also I had a very good welcoming, and people are very interested in CivicWise. And actually, the good news is also that I am actually moving to Paris, so starting to from the end of May, I will be in Paris. I will be a volume resident, mean that I will be living actually in volume co-working. They have a residency there, so I will be there helping the development of this co-working space, and at the same time talking with them. I mean, the people in charge of this space. We agreed that we can start with the first civic space or CivicWise space. So this is a good news, because we will have a real space, in this case in Paris, where we can experiment this idea to have a civic space where we can have citizens meeting without this representative approach. So actually, we presented a proposal for an European contest to develop this kind of civic space, and we propose to develop and experiment this space in Italy, in Spain, and Paris, where we have a connection with CivicWise. So we have Saverio in Altamura in the south of Italy. We have also Carpe Via in Valencia with the space called La Carpeta, and we have Volume in Paris. So I will be personally in Paris. I don't know if we finally have some good feedback from this European contest, but the good news is that we can start anyway with this experiment, with this development in Paris. And we can develop there in Paris a local circle, of course. So as I said, I presented CivicWise was just 2 days ago, and I will start to talk with some people in Paris, and the idea is to have at the beginning of June some kind of kicking off event as we had in London, a sort of workshop, and get people involved and start a local group in Paris. I think this is a good news also because there is a very interesting situation in Paris where the city council is really interested in this kind of third space. It's called in French tiers-lieux. Is something that there is very now is on high. We can say it's very city council is very interested in this kind of space. So maybe we can have some good connection also with the city council. Yeah. So this is
really good news, Domenico.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I'm quite excited about that. So yeah, it's also a good opportunity to spread and develop the community in France. And yeah, I'm just saying that also Rita is now listening. Hello, Rita. And Maria Alejandra from Bogota is also saying that they are now starting to talk with other people that may are interested in be part of CivicWise. So waiting for Andrea. I think maybe we can think about next Hangout. What topic we can discuss next week? I don't know if you have any preferences. We have also to talk about this engagement method. I don't know, maybe Fausto, before we talk about next week, maybe you can share with us what you are doing with this engagement method.
Yeah. Can you hear me well, guys? Yeah, good.
Yes.
Basically, I've been thinking about all the different tools and strategies that we can use to approach a group or to approach an idea. And the discussion that we created in this course, I think it was pretty good. And the feedback, even if it was just 2-3 people, I think it was also very interesting. on the different methods or tools that we can use. Jonas was saying about participatory action research, but that depends on what kind of activities you do. The process can last quite a long time. So in terms of being more efficient and to see how things can somehow go further, I was going back to some of the things that I wrote in the past. That is just basically create a direct contact with 1-2 people that might be more leading the project or the idea, and research directly through them to create a very safe space for them to feel comfortable and share what are their expectations, what are their purpose, and how they want to see their future, basically. Yeah, to find out if somehow those comments or those information will fit with what CivicWise is trying to promote, and if it will fit with our expectations also. Because at the end of the day, it's like a contract. No, we have to agree. We're gonna cooperate. We're gonna work together. We're gonna share time, resources. So all these things has to be taken into account. And to create a protocol in itself, it is really difficult because of all the different environments that we can find, the different people that we will find. But one thing that I really thought about recently is, apart from all these little tools that we have in this course, for example, here I was thinking about walkabouts in the area to listen to everyone in the community, and then community open days, again to listen to the community, but in a particular invitation to a particular space. Interviews with key people, that's what I said before, and organizing focus groups. Focus groups is one of the participatory action research tools that Jonas was saying. But the new thing that just came across recently is because experiences I had with other types of participatory activity, and I started to think about how important other things can be. And when I mean other things, you're gonna think I'm crazy now, but I think the first thing that we need to do before we start thinking outside is to think inside. So to think about inside ourselves. So in one sentence, I think we just basically need to develop interpersonal skills within the circle. So develop ourselves internally as individuals, then develop the skills of the circle to approach other initiatives, and then is when we could start being ready. Because I mean, we all have a great initiative and willingness to do things, and we might decide to, for example, take the focus group and implement it. But I think that we first need to be ready individually and as a circle to make any activity. So to develop your interpersonal skills, I reach a few conclusions. We need to learn to breathe.
What do you
Let me
mean?
see your faces. Yeah, I mean, I just recently discovered that breathing is the most important thing that you can do as human being. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, when you control your breathing, when you feel more relaxed, you basically able to listen properly, and in case that you're speaking, you will be able to share properly. So I just came across two sentences that they're very short, but they have a lot of uh, content. And it's like, you should speak with intention. So everything you say, it has a meaning, and it has the intention to add to the conversation. So you're not just speaking for the sake of speaking. You're really thinking. You're really getting into a state that you can think properly, into deep reasoning, and then speaking whenever you're ready. You know, I just found out that when we meet people and we are in a conversation, especially when you're meeting somebody for a particular purpose, because you want to talk about a project, the conversation is all the time from A to B, from B to A, and there's no time silence to think what's going on, and the mind sometimes need time to think and reflect. So yeah, this might look like a bit mystical, but at the end of the day, we are human beings, and we need to consider these things. We're not robots. So yeah, more or less, I said everything I have here, but just to create a more fluid dialogue and respecting the silence, respecting the times, and listening. Yeah. So this is my input today, to see what you think. Looking forward to your thoughts. I stop here now.
Hi everybody. I have a bit of a question for Fausto on this. First of all, it's a very good take, and I'm pretty interested. In effect, being ready for to develop internal skills, I was expecting from the project somehow. So the fractality, so being ourselves, our first case. So I'm actually in line with, and I was expecting something this way. Are we going to receive or to share a bit of training on this, or some more education, Fausto? Would it be possible?
That is the idea. The idea of the protocol is that we create somehow a process. They can be shared. Hopefully, we can create activities or training that can be shared on a Hangout. So we develop basic skills.
Okay, sorry, it's my misunderstanding. Protocol is meant to be the engagement protocol, not the overall method of CivicWise.
No.
Okay, clear.
It's just engagement protocol.
Okay, sorry.
And engagement protocol, you know, the first time I thought about it, I thought it will help us to engage with the external world. But when I had more time to think about it, yeah, I realized that there's no point trying to engage first there if we not develop ourselves, if we're not ready ourselves to give the best we have, you know. If you start engaging with the external world, okay, that'll be fine, no problem. You will develop yourself with the experience of external world. But what I'm proposing here is at least to be conscious that we should develop ourselves individually first, as like CivicWise or within every single circle, before we start taking on the world.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does to me at least.
Actually, Fausto, I have also another question. Is related with the last one, and I would like to know how you think we can proceed with that. I mean, how you can share a sort of training or document with the rest of the community. I think I find very useful, for instance, a training session. Actually, in London, we are talking about it, to have a physical training session. But actually, it would be useful if we can have an Hangout. Actually, I think it's a good idea for the CivicWise global community, and we can have a discussion, and yeah, I think even better, a really training session about listening, and we can test and learn from what you just said. And what about a document you think you can have in some time? How much time you need there? I don't know. Could you share more about it?
Yeah, the issue here is I don't want to just create a document that it will be that document. Obviously, it has to be alive, and there is a lot of tools out there that we can use. So what I could just do is just cherry pick a few tools that I know they are the basic ones for people to start looking at them and try to practice it. Because, for example, with listening, is just very simple, very simple exercises. Like, for example, one exercise which is basic is in couples, one person listen and the other one speaks. Okay? The person who listens remains in silence. He cannot say a word. It only uses his body language, his mumbling is called, like or nodding, things like that to communicate. And this will last around 3 minutes. It's just very short. And the reason of this exercise is when you are listening and you're not able to say anything, you have a lot of thoughts in your brain that coming towards you because you want to participate in that conversation. We are wired to say something, to participate. And it's very interesting to think about what you are thinking, think about those thoughts that come to you on that particular moment, and when you finish the listening exercise, reflect on those. So you ask yourself, which were those thoughts? Maybe the typical thought will be, well, I would like to give you advice, or I felt that I was in that situation, I felt empathic with you. So you realize how your brain is working in a particular situation. And the other question for that exercise will be, how do you felt? And some people say, well, I felt frustrated because I couldn't talk. I wanted to say something and I couldn't talk. Or I felt, or the other person might said, I really felt listened to, like I never felt before, because you knew that the other person was not allowed to say anything. So that would be, for example, one practice that I can write down in a document so we can all share it. I mean, we don't really need to do a hangout for that. It's simple enough to be understood and practice it at home. The interesting thing is that when you practice it with somebody that you don't know, because otherwise the cultural filters that we all have will influence in the exercise. So yeah, in terms of when that document could be set, I hope soon. I hope maybe in the next week I'll be able to produce something so we can share. And yeah, that's all from me from that side.
Fausto, I think actually the document could be also just a compilation. It's not definitive. I mean,
no, of course, it's alive. That's for sure. But to be honest, I would like to think deeply what to put there. I don't want to put just any single thing.
Yeah.
Because, as I said before, there's plenty of tools out there, and I really need to think which ones are the most practical and easy to understand, because people can feel like a bit freak out when they start hearing these things, and I don't want that to happen.
Can you tell us a sample of a tool, for example? just for knowing the kind of tools you are meaning.
Fausto, we are not able to the microphone. You have to switch on.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anna, so yeah, some of the tools I mentioned before, it'll be, for example, just listening in a group. Another one will be just go out and listen to the public. Another one will be a focus group. Are you familiar with those ones?
No, yeah, but I was meaning through which tool are you using that tool? So I don't know if you understand. I was not meaning that.
No. A tool that's using that tool. I don't know, I'm just face to face.
Ah, okay, so you are thinking face to face always.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I was lost about that. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry for not explaining myself. Yeah, at the beginning I said that I would like to share with the global community of CivicWise. And for a while I was thinking that maybe we can practice some of those exercises on the Hangout. It's true. I said that and I refer that. But later on I was thinking about putting some of these exercises on a piece of paper so everyone can have a look at it and give it a go.
Perfect. And yeah, Andrea, this is the trap. Yeah, I think the principal aim of this session was to discuss about principles. So I think the last proposal about how we can proceed with this discussion in this course is yours. So maybe you can share with us the method you propose, and maybe we can use it for the next week to encourage people to share their ideas about principles. So maybe you can share with us how it works and present it a little bit.
Okay, but think about the principles. There was the need of, first of all, consolidate them somewhere. So this is why the Excel plays. And secondly, the structure or the format of each principle. And the idea was to actually have a common way to think about principles, mainly linked to the implication also. So a very abstract part, but also the implications. So actually how those are going to actually impact de facto and how they are going to guide us through the journey of building CivicWise. Another important point, in my opinion, is actually the perspective and the domains. It is important that we don't focus only on general or on civic, on collaboration, but we should consider all aspects, and all those aspects should be guided by a set of principles. It is not the point of building a huge set of rules and laws, but actually having something that guides us in the building of something that is very complex. So also developing a bit of a common sense around what we are going to do. So this was actually de facto the proposal for principles. It was not very extreme.
Yeah, but could you say something more about also the Excel you prepared and actually the method we can use to shape this principles document?
Well, actually, one of the point is a very open approach. In my opinion, we should simply fill in the Excel. Taking care of the first line, in my opinion, is actually what is describing each section. And actually, by experience, this is going to be going in every direction. So usually, I like to see. It's easier to see when there is something collected. It can be in any form actually, but usually when it's in any form, the amount of work to consolidate is simply huge. So that's why I try to force a simplification of those. Otherwise, it's getting to be a very titanic activity to synthesize something for the group. So what I propose is going into the catalog, filling in ideas, and having a strong bind between the principle, the statement, it should be not very much ambiguous, and the implications. This is actually a proposal, is not much more than this actually.
Yes, but I think as we have to go ahead, and we talked a little bit before you joined.
Yeah, I didn't catch everything.
Yeah, we can use it. I think right now is the time. This is the session dedicated to principles. We can decide if we can continue with your proposal. Personally, I think we can use that. And Anna also before, I think, said directly that he liked the method. I don't know, what do you think, Rita and Fausto?
Hi guys.
Hello.
I think it's a good method for a start. You did a good job, Andrea, putting it in simple sentences. Though I'm kind of struggling still because it seems that we could have so many principles that I don't really know where to start and where to finish. Thinking about this, seems like this maybe this file can be used along the time, and we will, at the point where we have something that we experience, that we feel that needs a principle, we just go here. That might be a principle, maybe. Beware of the principles and nourish them somehow. Also, I thought that this protocol engagement that Fausto was thinking about somehow relates to these principles. And I was trying to put it here and try to understand what principle is behind the protocol engagement, and trying to understand, for instance, that practical thing, that it's a protocol engagement. Is it somewhere here? Like it's a tool, right? It's a tool to communicate in a way that we can connect and respect each other, maybe, and grow at the same time. What do you think, Fausto? Does this make sense as a good...
Yeah. No, I love your words. Grow, especially no economic growth, but yeah, personal growth.
Yeah, personal.
No, that was a joke. But yeah, I think the principle there will be something related to the tweet I just made. When we want to engage with people, we want to understand people, and why we want to understand people is because we want to connect with people. And why we want to connect with people is because we're going to improve peace in the world, you know. So stop having those barriers that create conflict, and they create, you know, all those problems that we already have in the world. So to put a principle down there, I don't know. I'm very bad with principles, to be honest. I can just spit out ideas, but to set up principles to me is like writing the Bible, you know, and I'm scared.
Yeah, I understand you perfectly. But I was trying to think...
Maybe I give a less important take on the word itself. For me, principle is much less God-driven. Okay. But One of the points that I actually usually agree with both of you actually for two different perspectives is one thing is the principle or the guides or even the ideas actually is a living thing. So we are going to and we should be coming back to them at a certain point. Actually, the first I see it much linked to the method we are going to go through and the fractality of it. So we are our first user case, and for example, with Rita that she designed and a circularity in the process, we are going to come back to the moment we have to think about if the journey change, what it guide us to the journey itself. So the principle itself, themselves. Sorry. So it's the circularity, one important thing, and the fact that we are going again to discuss about the principles. They should be changing.
Yeah. I have one basic question, guys. That is, we are using a method to build the platform and the structure of CivicWise, and we are, if I understand it right, we are like creating the hypothesis that the same method we use for this is the method we are going to use to build space with communities. My doubt here is that they seem to be different processes to create the platform itself and to build space, public space and engagement space, or maybe not, but it seems that okay, it's about collaboration and engagement with each other, but somehow it seems too simple. I don't know. And also, I think we need, like Anna was saying earlier, I think we need that they discussed in Barcelona. We need prototypes. We need to start doing stuff, and because it seems that it's too academic. I don't know if you feel the same somehow, but we are discussing a lot of stuff and it's interesting. But the challenge personally for me is this ability to communicate with people and connect, just like you were saying, Fausto. But I need to practice with people in real life and with practical examples to deal with the fact that the ideas that I, as a landscape architect, might have for a space might be different from what the people need, and this is the challenge for me personally, maybe, as a landscape architect. Okay, sorry if this is out of context. I'll stop now.
Maybe if I can answer, actually traveling and talking with a lot of CivicWisers, I can feel this sentiment, let's say this feeling, and it's true that people are asking for let's say directly more action actually. So it's not out of context, and it's clear. And I think to start with the action, we can do that more by local circles. So I think the local circles can start with any practical project. In terms of method and how we are building CivicWise itself, okay, we are using CivicWise to build CivicWise. That's true, and I think that's clear. But at the same time, we are not very strict on that. And in different presentations, I received this question about method and about how we are working and how we are using the method. And what I am saying, I don't know if you agree with that, but okay, we are using and we are building a method, but we are not thinking that the method is the solution. for everything, and at the same time, I think we are flexible and we are aware and we are able to change and to be flexible at any time about that. So, for instance, for CivicWise itself, we are following this method, but in a very flexible and very very flexible way. So I think this is important. We are not closed in a strict path and a strict process. Otherwise, we are not able to be open because we are too much lied to something that is previously defined. So I think this is very important.
Can I add on top of this something? Maybe actually I come from maybe a very fast-pacing place where actually those words are not really cast in stone, and I would like to make a parallelism with theater. No, I don't know if you know what a canovaccio is. I try to paste it there. So for me, the method, the principles are actually the canovaccio. So is actually a typical theater-based plot, very vague, but does permit people to improvise. Otherwise, improvisation just not happen. is getting just chaotic and without any kind of interest in the narration on the storytelling of the theater plot. So that's how I interpret actually the method is just something that can enable us to improvise on top of it, but together on something that is workable, at least for as a theatrical plot or scene.
I think I can imagine with jazz improvising, though I'm not a musician, but I can hear that there is some structure, and then they go out of the structure and they come back always. So in that sense, I guess it's like a direction where the boat is going, but you can just go around at some point. Yeah, but our direction is to have real projects. Question mark.
Yeah, in this sense, if I can add something more, talking with people. For instance, I was in Bogota. I forgot to share with you that I was in Bogota, and I had also some interesting meeting with universities, especially with professors. Actually, not really with the managers of these universities, but with professors. So I was talking with Universidad de los Andes and Universidad Javariana, with professor teaching and lecturing at these universities, and especially talking with a professor I know since some years in Javeriana University. He said that they are working in a specific project, and when I presented their CivicWise, he suddenly understood that the CivicWise community is a good opportunity for them to develop in a wide and open way something they are developing in a little group. So what we are able to do very soon is actually to welcome people and groups working on a specific project and be involved in this project. For instance, they are working with the local community. They are working in terms of to improve sustainable housing and these kind of things in a very poor community in Colombia. So the idea to have a good partnership with this kind of university or projects is actually get the community, the CivicWise community, involved in this project. So I have no doubt that sooner or later we can have even this opportunity to work and experiment the local approach. I mean, there is a local group in Bogota, but at the same time, a global group working on the same project. And this is very important because it's what we have to experiment and how we can work together at this local dimension. So just to add something more, to improve and to achieve that, it's also important that we have a clear or a first an initial idea about how we can manage the partnership. So we have to understand how we can work with the university, and this is also part of the governance discussion. So yeah, again, we will start working on it. And we have also related this discussion about a partnership related with our formal structure. For instance, I was thinking that maybe in the future, if you want to create some partnership with the university, maybe the university has to pay to be part of CivicWise, because it's not the same if people are part of CivicWise or if we have an university part of CivicWise. You know, maybe it could be a way to finance the community. So we have to talk about that.
By the way, about money, it's needed money, right? From what I understood.
Sorry?
I read something somewhere that we need money, or you need money. You and Andrea are banking this.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we also need to formalize CivicWise in terms to manage and achieve and collect some money, because right now I think especially Andrea is offering his server to us in order to have our website working, and I just paid for the domain, not so much, but I think especially Andrea is spending some money for CivicWise. I think the problem is not that we are yeah, we are using this money. The problem is that it's important that as soon as possible we can have a formal structure that could have how you say that. I think I don't know the word, but I mean, for instance, right now the domain, the civicwise.org domain is registered by me. So it would be useful if we can have the domain registered by the CivicWise organization, not by me. You know what I mean? So having a formal structure allows us to manage better these things.
And that idea that we talked last time about having something simple, a simple structure, I mean, the simplest we can, so that we can just deal with these first needs and then decide with time. We said we should look for good advices on this matter for someone that understands about it. Maybe we could put out there a call to see if someone help us with that.
Yeah, actually, for that I have another good news to share with you. That actually right now Ursula is not taking part on this meeting because she's presenting CivicWise at Urbanistas, which is a woman urbanist organization here in UK, and she is presenting CivicWise there in a sort of meeting where new projects are presented. And one of the call for action that she is sharing with all of the urbanistas taking part in this meeting is actually that she is asking for help in order to understand what kind of formal structure we have to have. So, hello, Pablo.
Hello. I'm in the other side of the flat.
Yeah. Welcome. We will see if internet is enough powerful for.
One side of the flat is black and white, and the other is colors.
Yeah. Maybe the colors is better. Rita. So I think the money and the money and the formal organization we should have is a very important thing.
And do you need some input for now? It could be like, I don't know, maybe it's some money we can lend to CivicWise, and then when there is a return at some point.
Sometimes I think maybe start at just for the beginning, maybe an association. I don't know. Maybe could be useful. And meanwhile, we think more about it. And if you want to become a foundation, or I don't know, an enterprise, or I don't know, whatever, you can have a formal entity.
Anna said something before about cooperatives, didn't she? Didn't you?
Yeah. In this sense, maybe I don't know. Maybe what do you think about? Maybe we can discuss about that next week. A little bit more. I don't know.
Oh, ideally, we would bring some options.
You can?
I don't know, like we will try to reach for our connections and see if we can have more information to discuss it.
Okay. So
I'm not thinking about anyone, especially in the UK. I've not been here so long.
Yeah. What do you think, guys? We can spend next week our first part of the session about talking about maybe finance and our formal structure. Or do you have better proposal for?
No, it sounds good to me because it's really important, because it's related also on the kind of corporation or entity that we are going to be.
Yeah.
And now I have to go, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, Anna.
But one thing is that we should think about. You were saying something that is provisional, and then we reach another structure, like an entity. For example, we do any kind of entity which it doesn't require a lot of paperwork and money now, and then we evolve into something else. Is that the idea?
This is the idea. I think this is what maybe we should discuss, and I think. We have to promote this discussion and this decision, maybe by discourse, and take the decision maybe next week. This is the idea, actually. So okay. So next week we talk about about that. Is maybe is more even more general. Is discussing a little bit more about governance and our formal figure, formal entity.
Yeah, let's leave it for next week.
Okay.
Since you, me, and Lina are going to meet tomorrow, we can also discuss a little bit about it and do some research, the three of us.
Yeah, and we also said that starting with this week, we will we are working more in depth on governance. So I will share with all of the community a call for work, and maybe we can have a specific hangout, a work hangout, because starting with this week, each circle we said is invited to start with autonomous work. So, so maybe we can
I had a meeting. I know this is not in the agenda, but just to let you know, I had a meeting in Seville with a group of students that want to start the circle. So I told them that we probably would organize, but I don't know when. I don't know if it will be before or after the summer. We'll organize a CivicWise event in Lugadero, maybe, and the students will help us. But they're very good students, from the students that I had last year. They're finishing the degree now, and they're very, very good group of students. I think, and they're very happy to help. They're saying that they're asking me if they can do some tasks, and if we can give them some tasks to do and things like that. So we could think also about how even they can collaborate in the network as well.
Great. So in terms of the idea was today to spend not more than 1 hour and a half for our hangout. I don't know what do you mean if we maybe start to close the session, or you have something very important to share with all of us. Not really. So maybe I will ask to Andrea. This is another trap to have this closing up session.
Well, I participate to part of it, so I will be actually partial. But so what I understood, at least, it can be then amended and corrected. So as an action item list, what is going to happen is, except the first part, I don't know what has been decided. Fausto will review and propose actually some internal training for the engagement protocol. It will actually design and review what can be delivered internally for an internal actually awareness of this. The principles will actually be carried on in the Excel. Has been taking any decision on that, because I actually miss this point?
Yes, about the principles, the idea is we are using your method, so your Excel, to invite more CivicWisers to share their idea about principles. Okay. So yeah, starting from today with our newsletter, blog, and social media, we will insist and we will focus on this specific document. So also in this course, we will share that we have to insist and fill this this form. And actually, Andrea, the idea, I don't know, what do you think? Maybe it would be useful if you care about it.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
It's okay. Fair enough. Then what I catch also is that there was the discussion on funding. Actually, we may say formal entity that are somehow actually closely related, and this will be actually the next agenda for next week. What is going to happen also is that Domenico is going to make a call for work to all of us to actually start working on activities. I guess those are the main highlights, but we can add more. This is what I understood as very main highlights.
Yeah, so I will start to a call for action, a call for work, especially with governance, and also yeah, the rest of circles. And we decided also that the next session maybe you already said that we will work about funding, finance, and formal structure. Yeah, maybe that's.
And maybe leave a call also that people write some principles, because in the end, our agenda for this session, we ended up not really discussing much about it, maybe. People didn't really participate, me included.
Yeah.
Usually, actually, I agree. We can discuss on principle only when we had one written.
Yeah.
So maybe Andrea, if you can care about that, you can see how much people is participating in this principles activity.
Okay, I can also be contacted in Slack.com to actually help.
Yeah, maybe
principles.
Maybe I don't know if this week, maybe after some days, maybe next week, maybe we can imagine even a specific hangout, not the weekly one, but a specific hangout just to talk about.
Okay, but if anyone, even the one that are listening, are interested in contacting me directly, then I will try to consolidate and make it more visible.
Yeah. Okay.
Domenico, did I fill the form to be a CivicWiser? Because I was going to do it for 2 times, but I'm not sure if I send it. Question, maybe then if you could check. And another one is there a way for us to access what people wrote? I would like to know what moves our community, and maybe find some people with similar interests, and that can promote a good motivation for people to discuss because they have similar interests. That might be a way to form groups of discussion.
Yeah, actually, the document is open and is accessible by Google Drive. So if you go to governance, if you go to governance, there is this Excel document called CivicWise, and the question: do you want to be a CivicWiser? And you have responses, so you can consult directly yourself in the document. I think actually it's a good idea what you just said, and maybe it's very useful if all of us we have a look at the document, because it's exciting to see how much people is taking part on it and what they are suggesting. And there is a lot of information that right now we are not able to share properly. But maybe yourself, if you find a way or something interesting, maybe we can start a sort of social media campaign or something to share what people is proposing and is suggesting, and by Facebook or Twitter, or even a blog post. Yeah.
I don't compromise, but I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, no, it's just actually I can confirm that you are there. Actually,
okay.
You already filled it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So that's us, right?
So I don't know. You have something more? Otherwise, we can. We can close.
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay. So see you in a bit.
Yeah.
And see you all next week. Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. See you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
And just a question, Rita. I just saw that you are also writing down the minute.
Yeah.
It's you, no? It's you, isn't it?
I just wrote two sentences.
Could you prepare this text, get it a little bit more understandable for a blog post, and I use it for the blog and the newsletter?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll look into it. I wasn't in all the Hangout, but so I can look at it on the final part and trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very useful. So yeah, if I can see that something is
Can
missing.
Do you have the chat from the beginning? Does it have more information maybe or not?
No, we didn't share a lot before
Okay.
you arrived.
Yeah, we have to start doing the minute. But somebody wrote some stuff that I saw. Okay, I'll look at it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
See you.